Hello everyone, I hope you've had a great day so far and that you're doing well. For this video we will be going through a surprise review of the Batwing Batman vs. the Joker set 76265. So some time ago I went through and did the unboxing of the set, decided not to do any time lapses and just did a bit of a casual build. But I thought, now that it's finished, let's see if I can actually try and get a feel for the review side of things, because whether I like it or not, needs to be done. So, with the Batwing finished, what do we basically have? We have, one, the Batwing. We have the two minifigs of Batman and the Joker, and there were some additional accessories. Not in the camera right now. There are actually two Batarangs, and there are two sets of cuffs, the other two being in this little storage component within the Batwing. So before we get too carried away, so the Batwing, we'll come back to you because you're pretty much the main piece front and center. Starting with the not so fun and exciting things, the accessories that are included. So we do have this pair of cuffs, which is cool. And then we have the Batarang, which I'm pretty sure has been used multiple times throughout. So very nice. We have some of these. In fact, we have two of them. Very cool for a few accessories. Batman minifig. Won't spend too much time. Minifig is a minifig. Now this Batman does sport more of the cloth-based cape as opposed to some of the hard plastic that we've seen in a previous polybag. In terms of his head, so we have one head when I bang the stand, and then not what I was planning it to do, but he does have an alternate head as well. So if I just do, let's do this properly, and then put his helmet back on, we can have a bit of a more facial expression Batman. So that's the Batman minifig. As for the Joker, very nice minifig of the Joker, sporting his very nice purples and a very nice purple hat. In terms of his actual head, it's just the one facial expression there. To be honest, he only needs the one. But that is very, very cool. Okay, now the Batwing. So Batwing from the top, Batwing from the underside. Definitely see a lot of the underpinning greys here in part of the build, but that's okay. How often are you going to be looking at the underside? The Batwing from the side, the Batwing from the back, the other side, which is going to be a bit of a repeat, and the Batwing from the front. So from the top section, the Batwing sporting 95% black, as to be expected, and yeah, that's, you know, hardly unsurprising. We do have some of these little bits of grey coming through, a nice clear canopy for the cockpit, and I've yet to understand what some of these are. They could be, you know, general aircraft lights, for the sake of them. Now, it's been a while since I've seen any of the Batman movies. I thought the Batwing may have had some front-based lights, but definitely don't quote me. It's been a while. In terms of articulation, what can we expect for the Batwing? Well, firstly, the canopy itself is on a nice little hinge section, so you can open up the canopy, you can put Batman in there, and we do have some consoles that have been detailed up by stickers, and obviously the canopy will close. So for sake of discussion, if I open that, now Batman's going to actually be sliding in as opposed to sitting upright. So if I just get the Batman minifig. Which I'll just raise his arms up a little bit, see if I can flatten out his cape somewhat. Don't even think he even got into the pegs right. There we go. Close the canopy. There you go. And then there is a nice Batman minifig in the main canopy. Now these little bits on the, well, towards the rear of the Batwing can move and be very much, you know, just dead straight vertical, or because of what they're also on, they can be put to the side to have more of that winged type look, which I believe is the general intent. So that's always a cool thing. Now, not technically articulation, the storage component area is basically underneath this little section here. So there's just a bit of storage for those items, the cuffs and the batarang. So if I take the previous two that I took out earlier, just put them in there, and then basically reseal the storage section by putting that back on. That's very cool that they've actually done that. Nice to have that storage area without having to have it too gimmicky. Other areas of articulation, these I'm actually not too sure what they're supposed to be. I'm assuming some type of air control flaps. Based on what they're on, they can pretty much go all the way like that, or just go back down into this weird position as well. I don't think it's supposed to do too much, but they're a moving part. In terms of gimmicks, there's an extra set of gimmicks. So on the side of the canopy here, we do have these nice little single stud firing gimmick weapons. That tends to be on everything these days, so it's cool that they are there. For the video I won't demonstrate. And in terms of what ammunition they have these nice little translucent orange single stud pieces as your ammo. You will have some extras as well, so don't worry, there's more than two. And in terms of the rest of the articulation, well, that's pretty much it. There is no real other articulation involved. So the Batwing is definitely a very nice visual aesthetic for its price point. So just put the Batwing back down, bring the Joker back over here as well. You can just stay over there. So we've had a nice look at the Batwing, had a look at its inclusions, seen some of the gimmicks and bits and pieces of the Batwing that will move. So I guess at this point in time, what are my thoughts about this Batwing set? For its price point, I didn't think it was too bad. Potentially, if you can find a way of shaving a few dollars, by all means, I think that will just enhance its value. For the price point I got it at, it's fairly okay. Granted, that was not from the official LEGO store, that was from another domestic retailer here in Australia. So yeah, just was obviously shop around if you're a little bit dubious about the price point, but generally I think the value is still there, especially compared to some other LEGO sets I've picked up recently. At the point of this recording, I've just done the Yoda Jedi Starfighter. Technically they're actually both at the same price point if they were picked up from the same retailer. I do not feel that the Starfighter actually has the value for the cost of the set compared to the Batwing, so that may or may not give an indication of what I think about that. So value to cost, I think the Batwing is definitely there. Shaving a few dollars, always a good thing. Visual aesthetic and everything, it does look very good, and I've not actually picked up a Batwing previously, and I definitely did skip the the adult collector's Batwing for the whatever $300 price point that was. I do like the Batwing conceptually, but I'm very much more of a Batmobile person than a Batwing. So to have a Batwing now that's actually fairly, well, I don't want to say fairly on-screen accurate, but definitely captures a lot of the feel and representation of the Batwing from the movie. At its price point, I think it's actually very nice to be able to have an opportunity of having a relatively inexpensive Batwing that does pay the movie a better visual representation of the movie, as opposed to a more stylized version. So for that alone, I would say if you're after a Batwing and don't feel like spending hundreds upon hundreds of dollars, this is definitely a good stepping point. 2 minifigs, always a nice little bonus to have. The little gimmicks are also very cool. So I would say overall, this has been a very enjoyable set to put together. It does have a very nice visual aesthetic upon completion, and it does have a little bit of playability, but at the end of the day, it's a Lego set. It's not necessarily meant for play purposes. This will definitely make a very nice little display section somewhere. If I was to display the Batwing, and to be honest, it would probably be in a way like this, where it just hangs and has that nice little bat silhouette about it. So would I recommend people picking up a Batwing set? I would say yes. I'm not a huge DC or Batman fan. I have my moments, so I am a bit more selective, but even for me, as I've mentioned a few times now, there is value in this set. And I am a big fan, well, more of a fan of the original, the 89 and 92 Batman films, which obviously this Batwing is from. So for me, it's been quite rational to grab this set. So for anyone else who's more a Puritan into the DC side of things, Batman, etc., I'd be very surprised if you were to say no. It's a nice set for its price point. Definitely good value, and I think this would accompany the Batmobile set that's probably around the same price point, if not a little bit more as well. So I think those are good entry pathways for people who want a bit of a movie inspired. I think that's what I've been trying to get to, Batwing and or Batmobile. I'm going to basically leave the review there. I don't think there's too much more to add that hasn't been said already, and this is a bit of a practice field to get an idea of how to do some of these Lego reviews again. I haven't got the Batmobile yet. I'm still waiting for a cheaper version of that to come out to retail, but obviously keep an eye out on the channel, because it'll probably start off as a unboxing before it moves into a review. Thank you very much for watching this review video of the Batwing Batman vs. the Joker Lego set. Feel free to leave a like or comment, subscribe if you enjoyed the content. All of this does help support the channel, and I do greatly appreciate it. Extra content can also be found on my Instagram account, link in the description below, and it's also the same handle as the channel. And saying that about the channel, I'll also try and have a quick short of the Batwing as well, just for a few more different views and shots of the actual visual aesthetic of the completed set. With that being all said, stay safe and take care, and I will catch you all in a future video. Could be anything, to be honest, although I'm hoping with a bit of time some of these Lego reviews will start to condense down a little bit and be more to the point. Until the next time, see ya.